Buenas y tuperas, what is going on today on DOOP by the River? We have a CBA result finally. Thank you, Lord. We're going to talk about that. We're going to look at these brand new kits. These kits have been out for now 6 days now. And listen, they still are fire. We're going to get to that. The Ernst Tanner interview with MLS Italia. A lot of interesting stuff there. We're going to get to that. Of course, DOOP across the pond. And last but not least, we're going to look around our beautiful league. And don't you dare go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss this episode of DOOP by the River. And let's get this started. And done! And that is right. We'll welcome everyone to DOOP by the River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union, brought to you by Philly Sports Network. And before we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to check us out wherever you listen to podcasts. Check us out on PSN Radio, from Spotify, Google, and Apple. We are on all of those podcasting streaming sites as well. If you want to check us out every week now, we've been consistent with it. Now 7:30 every Tuesday night, live on Parcero Philly's YouTube channel, and of course on the DOOP by the River podcast Twitter account. We are live, so definitely make sure to follow us on Twitter, follow Parcero Philly, follow everyone here that we have here, all my beautiful hosts here. So let's introduce them here now. And of course, introducing his new nickname here, Mr. Justin Freiberg, aka Mr. Baldino. Justin, what's going on, baby?
It's I feel like same stuff, different week, but it's been a pretty nice week.
Different stuff with your nickname.
Hey, I figured why not shake it up? The Union have Elsinho, we got Baldino, right?
Hey, now that means Tim, you're next, my man. How have you not had a nickname yet?
We have to figure it out. Yes. I mean, I've been called Jim Curtin at Union games, so then people are like, "Oh, are you Jim Curtin?" No, I'm not. So
aren't you Tim Parker?
Oh, that one too. That one hurts a little bit.
And shouts out DD22. We have Gang fans on here. Make sure you stay tuned, because we're definitely going to talk about Gang here in Philadelphia. We are all Gang fans now. So hello to everyone over there who are the beautiful Gang supporters there. Tim and Justin, are you guys ready for this?
I'm ready.
Oh, first off, guys, how was your Super Bowl weekend, man? Okay. The only reason why I asked, because I want to get your guys' feel. Was it just me, or were you thinking that I just wanted to watch Champions League final? Like, I was sitting there thinking, like, man, it's cool, Tommy Boy and Pat, but it doesn't beat the Champions League finals. That's literally what was going through my head, man.
It was one-sided, unfortunately. Like, every Super Bowl, if there's not a team that I'm really invested in, I just want it to be the huge matchup that it's supposed to be. And when one team is riddled with injuries that make their superstar quarterback not play well, it's just not as fun to watch. So I was a little disappointed that way. But you know what? Tom Brady, he just wins. I don't know. It's crazy.
One day we'll get one of those in the MLS for sure. Justin, how was your Super Bowl Sunday?
It was okay. Spent most of the day watching soccer.
Did you get a kick out of the NFL? We've never talked about the NFL. I feel like. Do you get a kick out of it at all?
I mean, I'm an Eagles fan, but
amen, brother.
But like, soccer is my number one overall sport.
Amen,
so
brother.
Any chance I get for soccer, I'm watching it. So I spent most of the day watching soccer, and then did what most people do: gorge themselves on a mess ton of snack food, and I was very close to being in a food coma before the game even started.
Oh, you and me both, brother. I literally gained 10 pounds just on Sunday alone.
I think I was like 10 pounds full of mozzarella sticks and buffalo chicken dip. And I was like, I've got my stomach, and I was like, I made my way to the couch, and I sat there, and I was just like, all right, what now?
We do just watch more football. Can we just watch some damn soccer? All right. Well, guys, before we move forward into talking about the Union in the MLS, we have some important news to talk about. The CBA is finally resolved. Justin, take it away. Give us the details, baby. We're getting back to our game.
We are. It took an extra week, and from my understanding, I didn't see a lot of this the specifics. From what I can see, it's extended additional 2 years, so it goes through to 2027. I didn't see if there was. I think there was maybe a slight increase to TV money, which is kind of a win. I don't think is as much as people were expecting. Yeah. The players will get their full salaries for 2021, which I think was a big sticking point for the players. And the other thing, and Tim, maybe you can. I swore I saw something that said that there is still a force majeure clause in but it can't be enforced until December.
Right.
So again, we might be in a situation same time next year.
Right.
So I don't know how positive I feel, given that there's still it's still a specter of we could have a third negotiation in 3 years next year if the owners decide, if they really only get, because realistically this season I think you're not going to see full stadiums probably until September. I'm going to say September at the earliest, maybe August, like half. I think September, October, you might see full stadiums in time for the end of the season. But that might be being a little optimistic, assuming 70 to 85% of the people are vaccinated.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This definitely some solid news here. Tim, any thoughts on the CBA?
Yeah, I think just to add a little bit to what Justin was saying too, sort of on the back end of the CBA later right before it expires, I believe free agency, the age kind of drops down a little bit more as well. I think it goes to 24 years of age if you've been in the league.
4 with 4 years experience.
4 years, yeah, that's it there. So I mean, good for the players to stick to that a little bit. They had sort of ironed that out in the CBA that was now the previous CBA. The one they had worked really hard to get across the line a year ago, that was seen as groundbreaking. It was seen as a league really going and putting more effort towards their players and just the way that they supported them. And then the pandemic hit and you saw the league kind of shudder. They were scared and they wanted that power back a little bit. So extending that CBA the 2 years really does give them the power back to the owners more so than the players. So it is a little bit of a concession from the players for sure. But the Players Association is definitely going to stick to their guns in different ways. So I'm just glad that it came to an agreement, that the players voted to pass it. And at the end of the day, we'll get to see them play. A lot of the players, too, that are playing right now won't even necessarily be in the league when the next negotiations come up. So it's not like they're going to really hate that they did this to themselves. It's really for players to play, which is kind of selfish, but it is what it is.
I mean, the thing for me, and I said that, I think I said this last week, but I'll reiterate it again. Any good PR the league got from 2020 is gone, and I think this will forever create a bigger divide between the owners and the players than there has been at any point. Because and I said this last week, and I'll repeat it again. It is very, very clear the owners see the players as nothing more than assets in their product, and it's a shame. We understand it's a business, but it's very clear how they're being treated like commodities.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, guys, it's all resolved here. We're scheduled as scheduled for the season.
So that's the thing. Because I was hearing, because the extension was, it was extended for about a week. The season may be pushed back about a week.
That's not terrible.
2 weeks. I think it's going to be about a week or so. I haven't heard anything official, but those are the rumors, which given everything that happened, I would expect things maybe pushed back a week.
Okay.
Which sounds about right. But we'll see. It's either way, we're still getting everything in April, but we'll also get whatever the U.S. Open Cup is going to be. I mean, they did announce the changes to the format. I find it interesting, and given there's out of the teams, there's 24 American teams.
Yep.
8 of those teams will be in the round of 16. I had some people ask me if the Union would be one of those 8 teams. Given that they were the Shield winners, I'd have to imagine that you would have the MLS Cup winners, the Shield winners, maybe the conference finalists. Like, I'm trying to think of how they're going to base that out. But it's going to be a very crowded fixture list. And I said this last week. Squad depth is going to be tested. I don't like the fact that the MLS.
I just had to put that out there. We kind of wish they didn't allow that sale, to be honest with you.
So it's not that the MLS transfer window is different. It's they a lot of time they still operate within most of the windows. It's just there's the league's one is extended. Given that because how different leagues are in, I mean, you have the European leagues on the August to May kind of schedule, and people have said, "Oh, why don't all the leagues go that way?" Well, I'll say to that is, do you want to play in Cincinnati, Ohio, or Minnesota in December or January? No, no one wants to do that. So I feel like the MLS operates kind of similarly with the transfer windows, except they extend it a little bit, and then in the summer it gets a little weird. It's never going to line up fully. It's just because the way the league is kind of in a weird place where they do from March to November to try to keep out of football, and like they're balancing in this country having a weird setup. It's kind of how it is. But we'll see. I know teams were probably holding off on making moves until the CBA was ratified.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine in the next 2 to 3 weeks you'll see more signings.
Yeah.
DD 22. With all due respect, I don't think our league is what you should be mad at. I think your club is what you should be upset about.
Yeah, when you have a center back getting which, by the way, do they not suspend players? When they get red cards, because Cuesta's gotten 2 red cards since we started following Genk, and the dude I don't think has missed a match, or if he has, he's missed maybe 1.
So I heard that it's retroactively given. They fine you even more, and there's certain things like that at the end of the year that can happen. I could be wrong. That's what I heard happens in that league. DD22. If you know more information about that, I am definitely willing to that for sure.
So basically, can you get you can get a red card every game and
your money, not losing money. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, so it seems a little strange to me. I mean, I thought I was a pretty big soccer fan, but I don't think I've ever seen a league where you can get that many red cards and not be suspended at least 1 game.
Hey. Well, at least they won the title, so we're happy you guys were able to win the title. Good stuff here. We're still looking for our first league title, so we're on our way there. But to start off, we may win the league title this year, and some sexy ass, beautiful ass kids here, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. We are going to talk. Where is my hair? Here we go. The new Union kits are electric, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not heard or if you have not seen yet, the Philadelphia Union have dropped the new By You kits. It is these beautiful let's see if I can pull. I thought we had a picture already here, but so no. So the kits are it's the light blue, kind of what you see with Sons of Ben, and you got this yellow on the kits as well. Let's see if we can pull up one little picture here. What I wanted to get first by you guys is, of course, your thoughts on these kits here. As I pull the picture, if Justin, you want to start off here, man, give us your thoughts on the kits.
So I was, if you all were following the Duke by the River social media account on Twitter, I was our social media admin on Friday night,
and he did a fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen.
It was an interesting experience. So the way they have it set up, and it's a very good setup. I'll give the Union credit where credit is due. It was a fantastic setup. They have it set up perfectly. So the way it works is you check in at the Rothman or the Premier Orthopedics gate. You give your name, you give them the COVID waiver, and then you start going on the tour. So you go in where the locker room area would be, like that hallway, and they give you these, like, I guess it would just be like 3D glasses, like you would get it like the movies, like not like regular ones, but like the cheap paper ones.
Yeah, the old school ones. They're
yeah, they were. The problem for me is we're trying to keep a mask on. They didn't really stay on my head too well. I mean, I know I got a big head and all, but they didn't exactly stay on that well. So you walk through the hallway, and it, like, they have the glasses kind of like the lightning bolts kind of come up, kind of like pop out. Like it's kind of neat. And then you walk into the, I guess was what the whatever that the Clapton Morgan Club.
The club, yeah,
whatever they're doing on it. I saw that it looks kind of neat. It's like, I obviously when people are allowed to come back, it's gonna be like a nice little hangout area.
Right.
I'm not sure how they're gonna set it up because it's under the I think the players are gonna walk by. It's under the under the river end, so it looked neat. And then we walked down, onto the field, outside the field level. They, because of the glasses, you could see on the sides. They, the same thing where you could see, like, the lightning bolts kind of popping out. They had thing on the big screen, and then it walked around, and I gave the guy out who's giving me the tour a little history of PSN, and gave a little shout out to us. So if
that's awesome,
man. Boss man, if you're hearing this, you may get some inquiries as to what exactly it is we do here. I tried to sum it up the best I could, and I still kind of went, it is kind of confusing.
I guess if you're not on the internet, you don't know who Philly Sports Network is. I had to hit you at the link as well. You guys know me, my TikTok weirdness here. I ran into the security guard. He had no idea what Philly Sports Network was. So probably should have used the words. I was making a TikTok first, so but
yeah. So like, then you go. So you kind of go almost fully around the stadium. You pop out on the other corner, and they have these installations set up, these really large art pieces, which are supposed to be up all year. One was, it was like, lightning and clouds, and the clouds were made out of, I think, recycled like soccer balls. It was actually kind of a neat little thing. I said the photos are on our Twitter if you haven't seen them. Then walking around, I bumped into a good pal and Tifo master Ryan Bross running the Suns table. There was the fake supporter shield, the actual supporter shield, and a neat little shirt, which if y'all didn't see, I posted on my personal and the Duke by the River account. I was like, oh, that Union in really big letters. That looks kind of cool. And I asked the guy, can I buy this? He goes, I said, I wish I could buy it. He goes, oh, you can. So, being me, I go, of course I'm going to spend more money and get this training top / jersey. And then by the time I finished up, it was probably about half an hour or so overall. And then, if you're buying some stuff, you go into the pro shop. There's a bunch of stuff you can. They were kind of, there wasn't too many people when I was there, and I went around 7:30, and they kind of try to space it out. And obviously, they didn't want too many people in there. And then, you make a purchase. However long I'm going to be there, I think they do about like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes or so, which in most pro shops, you're really not going to be in there all that long.
Right.
And then I walked out, and honestly, it was a fun little event. I can definitely see the Union are doing a pretty good job, given that, there was such a response. Not only were they doing it last weekend, they're doing it this weekend as well.
Nice.
And so I think people are genuinely excited about the jersey, and I can tell the team definitely is capitalizing on that for a very, very good reason. But no, the jersey, it's not like with the DOOP hoops where like you could see it, but you really couldn't see, like, during a game, you really couldn't see the stripes themselves. But with this kit, you'll definitely be able to see it. See the lightning bolts going down down diagonally. So
beautiful, man. I absolutely love it. I think what I love more is that the Union actually like stepped outside the box, did something different, and because we've never seen this color scheme ever in history. Tim, I really want to know what you think, man. What do you think of these kits that you see on the screen here, man?
Yeah, honestly, I love them, but from a standpoint of just kind of getting to see some of the history that was put behind making this kit. I know, John, you were part of the fan council there, whatever you guys called yourselves. To help make the kits and to make sure that the fans felt represented in the kit, especially for an away kit in MLS. We've seen time and time again, it's just another white T-shirt.
Wait, if you're Minnesota, the snow kit.
Whatever. I mean, I don't know. Even we're going to talk about some more MLS kits in a minute, but like DC United is coming out with a marble kit, which is literally a white T-shirt with like weird sleeves. But we don't need to talk about them right now. This new kit for the Union, just the way that the fans were able to help create it, like I was saying there, some of the history behind it too, having the flags of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware represented in the color scheme, it was just a great touch as well. The uniqueness that they were able to have fans come in, work with the club, and then push Adidas to say, no, this is what we're doing. This is what we're going to do. We want you guys to make this for our club, for MLS. We're sick of just another white shirt. So I think it's great. I love all the accents with it. I love that it is, pays tribute to Ben Franklin, all of these different things. I wrote, a pretty in-depth article about it over on Philly Sports Network. You can check out for sure.
Yeah.
It goes into detail with that. No, but it's just a really nice shirt. I honestly, now that the CBA has gone through, I can't wait to get one. I'll probably wait until they go on sale, which means I'll have to wait like a full year. But what it is. So I'll have to look into that later down the line.
I mean, I definitely have to get it just because it's the best Union kit we've ever seen, and it definitely is great. Look, so kind of just moving forward onto this. So obviously, like this kit, it signifies a new day for the Philadelphia Union. It truly does. With the Union stepping out of the box with this, but when I look at the grand scheme of kits in the MLS, and obviously we know our situation, we all are going to have the same manufacturer. It's all going to be Adidas. Guys, you just mentioned DC United. These kits for Adidas just are not looking good. The latest one really that got a lot of buzz was this crap that Inter Miami is about to wear next season. It's pretty much the same.
It's a black T-shirt.
Obviously, you see some of the palm tree branches.
That'll be like the DOOP hoops. It's not going to show up when they're playing in the 95-degree Miami summer Or sorry, Fort Lauderdale Summer.
I mean, when Gonzalo Higuain is in 10 pounds of sweat, you'll be able to see those things. But look, I mean, guys, just let's talk about like just what do I mean? Obviously, we can't do anything, but just what are your feelings on just Adidas in general? And because it's the thing is, it's not just the MLS. I've seen some bad Adidas kits outside of the MLS.
I don't think it's Adidas per se. From what I've heard regarding the, because like yourself, Johnny, Ryan was also on the on the Creative Council, and from what I heard from him, like the Adidas was glad to have that input because otherwise they just kind of go with blank template designs because it's not Adidas per se. I think the league takes this, and I said this. I think the league takes this single entity stuff a little too seriously.
Yeah,
and so a lot of these jerseys start to look similar because it's like, oh well, we're one operation. Well, are we really? Like, the single entity crap bugs the hell out of me. But it is what it is. Now, and I said this last week, would I love to see the league decide to, hey, let's let every team get their own jersey manufacturer and let's kind of change it up a little bit? Yes. Are they ever going to do it? Hell no.
We'll see.
It's made them too much good money to be able to get it this way, and I think that fortunately it's going to stay that way. And I don't know what else is going to change it. I don't think there's much that's going to be changed.
Just out of curiosity from both of you, so I obviously am not going to take a deep dive into some of these kits, but what are your thoughts on this? It's a little blurry. Obviously,
it looks like a crime scene.
Yeah.
Well, this is what Arsenal's away kit is this season.
Right.
It doesn't look so bad in like live. Like it's kind of like the Man U zebra kit. Like in the photos it looked really bad, but like live it actually looked decent. It was kind of similar with the Austin FC kit.
Yeah.
The green didn't look so good, but when it came to the actual live photos, the green was like really bright and vibrant. So I think it depends. Like, certain kits look better in person, some look worse in person. That one doesn't look bad. It's either a crime scene or like a marble floor. I haven't fully decided that one yet. Like I said, I've seen it on TV. It doesn't look so bad.
Yeah, I think Justin, when you just said there though with marble, like that makes me think DC United is gonna look something like that, but a little bit cleaner and a little bit less detail.
It's gonna also look like a marble floor. Like
it's gonna look like a marble floor, but with less marble. I think honestly, Adidas, the way that they make their kits, if you can show some innovation into what you want your design to be, it seems like they'll run with it.
Exactly.
But it seems like a lot of clubs, and it seems like a lot of clubs just across the world right now are just like, no, we want a clean look, a look that you can wear with anything, it's fashionable, all that kind of stuff. That we've seen from a lot of kits, and it's not even like the Arsenal kit is great, and the Ajax kit right now, that one is very unique. But when you look at even a lot of kits and other manufacturers as well, a lot of kits are just they are looking clean. They don't have a lot of design. They don't have a lot of extra things on them, unless a club or a team really wants there to be a crazy thing on it. So it's more so, honestly, about the sponsors going on the jerseys now for a lot of clubs than it is the actual jersey itself. Which,
by the way, can I say I love that that Artisano is on this jersey. Like for people who give the whole bimbo stuff crap, it looks nice.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's nice that MLS is allowing brands to use their package of brands on jerseys, especially for the Union, because we know people don't like to have shirts like this one with Bimbo on it. So
yeah, I know a lot of my female soccer friends that Like, yeah, I don't really like to buy stuff that says bimbo on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it's bimbo. They said, yeah, but no one's saying it like that. They're saying bimbo.
Yeah, it is
Like,
that's a very American thing as well. So, it is what it is. I'm glad for these kits specifically. It's Artisano,
Right.
it's still a brand people know,
Right.
and it's part of the Bimbo company. So it's all good. Everyone can buy this kit and wear it proudly. And I hope that's what happens.
Absolutely. So the kits were a success. The kit launch was a success considering the circumstances we're living in 2021. And I cannot wait to see these kits. Hopefully we see these kits in an MLS Cup championship run. Guys, I kind of want to shift over and talk about an interesting interview that was brought out this past week, I should say. Our very own athletic director, Ernst Tanner, had a little conversation, a little interview with MLS Italia. It was some very interesting things to say. They touched upon, the state of the youth academy, the direction it's heading in, and this kind of the success it's been going through. His thoughts on the MLS Super Draft and how he's kind of essentially slowly is killing the MLS Super Draft. It was really interesting to hear what he had to say there. He also talked about, partnerships with European clubs, as you do see that around the world. But he did talk about that, and obviously talked about, the future of the Philadelphia Union, kind of mentioning that you might not see major signings like some Union fans want. More so, you're going to see emphasis of youth and development. Tim, I'll let you start on this one, man. What was your thoughts on that interview? Because it was really some telling things for Union fans.
Yeah, I think two of the main things that really stuck out to me was that club partnership sort of thing that you were talking about there, and how Ernst says he doesn't necessarily want the Union to be a club that has a bigger partner club over in Europe. Well, it does sometimes help clubs move players on, like we've seen with FC Dallas. Bayern. It also limits some things from that's what Ernst said. It limits options in the future for some of his players, and I think honestly Ernst wants the best for the Union players, the best spot for them. So he wants to keep that communication open. And then the biggest thing for me, and I wrote a whole article on it, was the fact that the Union won't be signing a lot of players due to some visa issues, some green card issues. And it was interesting how he answered that question, because the question was actually more about signing a possible designated player. The question was posed actually from MLS Italia. So they were like, would you ever want to sign, a DP Italian player from from Serie A, and he was sort of like, we're not really in the market for DP players right now. And then he went on to say, we were looking at some Italian clubs, and he mentioned, I believe, Juventus's U23s. He said we were looking at some players from Juventus U23s, but right now we're having an issue with green cards. And he said that with the pandemic, that process for the Union has virtually stopped. And essentially why that matters is because the Union have only 8 international roster spots right now, and they are full up. So they have 8 international players. So if any one of them got a green card, that would open a spot back up for free, and then the Union would be able to sign a foreign player to come in and fill that spot. And yeah, so there's all these issues that were packed into that one short question that really stuck out to me. And the Union are going to have to try to figure out a way to fix that here. They're going to have to figure out if they're going to make, maybe a trade for a domestic player instead, if they want to bolster their roster that way. Maybe they can use some of the money that they got for trading their draft picks to get more international roster spots. Like Justin said, they're going for about, $50K right now. So if you find a club that has an abundance of them and isn't planning on using them, and you can, pay that fee or maybe a little bit over to, kind of sweeten the deal a little bit because you want to sign someone, that's something that Ernst is going to have to do, because right now the squad, the way that it is, while it still has the majority of the pieces needed to be competitive, the Union are in Champions League. They're most likely, going to be an Open Cup like we talked about a little bit here. And then, of course, the MLS regular season is daunting. And right now you have starters in pretty much all the key positions that you need to have. But if they go down, a lot of positions you're looking at unproven homegrowns who are just teenagers from the academy right now. So you really need to have a few more people on the roster to fill those spots where if you're, number one goes down, you can plug someone in there that would still have a high enough quality to be competitive in all the different competitions that the Union are going to be in 2021.
I agree with you there, man, and that's definitely something we need to be thinking about. But especially under Ernst Tanner, it's about the bang for the buck, really, and I hope that we are able to find those type of guys, that big bang for your buck. Justin, what would you take away from the interview, man?
My real takeaway, and Tim kind of highlighted it, but I'll expand a little. The international spot issue is a big thing. Like we had talked about, the going rate for an international spot is about $50K in allocation money. It wouldn't surprise me if Ernst used some of that money from the draft day trades to do that. Or as it's become popular, given the pandemic, given the visa issues, the interleague trades. We are one of the only soccer leagues that does that because we are Americanized after all. I could see that. I could see FC Cincinnati did just sign a player, Brenner from Brazil, for a staggering fee of around $13 million, potentially up to 15 with incentives. They could go the South American route, but again, you run into the issue of the international spots. So I think there will be signings. I think just because Ernst says there's not going to be DPs doesn't mean it can't be a high level TAM signing. I mean, I know El Brujo, I believe, was the TAM signing. Even Sergio, a lot of our bigger signings have been TAM level signings. So it's not out of the realm to think that will be a possibility. But we'll see. I think it's tough to gauge all that from an interview, given a few weeks prior we were we were talking about how Ernst was in South Africa and he was on so. I think Union fans tend to love to go from one extreme to the other. It's, oh, we're gonna be signing players in the next week. Oh, we're never signing any players, and we're going with what we got. It's like, trust me, I'm one that tries to read in between the lines, but at some point you just gotta go, unless we get anything concrete or unless we get an inkling of a rumor, you're just gonna have to trust that Ernst has a plan. He hasn't steered the team wrong at any point so far in his short tenure here. And I really doubt he's going to just go, nope, we won the Sports Shield. I don't think we're going to do anything to improve our roster. He understands he needs to make signings. He's just trying to work within the constraints that he has, given a global pandemic, given CBA negotiations just wrapped up. There's a lot of stuff and that's why I've been saying that probably in the next few weeks, you're going to see teams announcing more signings. I think that's a lot of teams were waiting, because if you're negotiating with a player, the player might be like, well, aren't you guys in the middle of CBA negotiations? How do I know we're going to actually be playing? Which is why the concern was with a lot of these players going on short-term loans. It's, well, they're assuming that we're not really going to have a season start. So we'll see. I'm not too worried given Ernst's track record. But I would I like to see signings? Yes. But I'm confident that there will be signings.
I am too, man. I am definitely. I feel you on that one, man. So it was definitely some really interesting stuff. This visa situation is definitely not helping anything as well. But just have some faith in Ernst. I think Ernst has earned at least our faith in him because he's done a solid job so far in his. We're entering fourth season now. Or is that what we're in?
It's 3.5. He came in
halfway through, was it 20 something?
Already left halfway. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, in Ernst, I definitely trust. Good stuff there. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, next up here is the segment that you all have been waiting for. Welcome, everyone, to DOOP Across the Pond. the segment where we follow everything with our DOOP alums overseas in Europe. And of course, to take it away here today, my man, Mr. Tim Lovicu, take it away. What did our boys do? Give us the juice.
Yeah, so I mean, we're still focusing highly on Brandon Aronson and Mark McKenzie, and for now, it was definitely it was an interesting weekend. There wasn't too much going on. Brandon Aronson was a sub. He came on. He played about 25 minutes for Salzburg in their 2-0 win in the Austrian Cup. So we'll be moving on there. And they get to play again tomorrow against the same team, but in their league competition. So they get back to hopefully their winning ways in the league there. And then for Genk, Mark McKenzie was a sub. He was an unused sub after his crazy performance the week before, where he played out of his mind. But he didn't come on, and Genk lost 2-1, and they're sort of dropping. They're in third place right now. They're a game off of the team in second, and I think I put out in a tweet. I think they're like 17 points behind the leaders, which is Club Brugge right now. So that's a difficult spot to be in. You want to be near the top to get that European qualification in the future there. But maybe Mark will get another shot tomorrow. He is in the 18, or I think they do 18. They might have more on their bench. I can't remember right now. But they're in the round of 16 in the Belgian Cup tomorrow. So hey, maybe he gets a chance there.
Tim, I guess my question would be: Genk is like one of the top clubs in Belgium, right?
Yeah, they're usually the top two. It's Club Brugge and Genk. They're always up there, at least in the last few years.
So is the pressure on this manager here now, or?
I mean, I don't know. It's been. I mean, we've been following it a little bit closer now when we heard Mark was going there, but
right.
They were in a shout for first place, right around there, fighting with Club Brugge right when Mark kind of made his transition. And then as he's kind of come into the team, we've seen crazy things like Justin mentioned, center backs getting red cards and, and everything like that. And Mark coming in, and he's played a few good games. The one game where he played out of his mind about a week and a half ago, it was a 0-0 draw, I believe. But at least he helped the team get a clean sheet. From what we've seen, they were playing a back three for a while, and then they switched to a back four in that 0-0 draw, and it looked like things might be, maybe a little bit more shirt up in the back. They just need their attack to get things going, and then over the weekend, they just lost again. So they're in their cup competition here. Obviously, you always want to win all the competitions you're in. You're in the round of 16 right now. I'm sure they'll try to get back to their winning ways there, and whether or not Mark is a part of that or not, we'll have to see. But he is on the squad for tomorrow, so that's good for them there.
All right. Well, hey, that is another segment of DOOP across the pond. Good stuff there. Thank you so much, Tim.
Yeah.
All right. Well, of course, we closed it out by looking around our beautiful MLS. Not much going on around the MLS, but FC Cincinnati's been taking some serious headlines away. Obviously, Justin alluded to it earlier. They really made that huge splash of the youngster Brenner, the young forward from Sao Paulo, Brazil. It was 24 years old, sold for $13 million with incentives. It could be a $15 million deal in total there. Justin, man, what are your thoughts on that deal alone there, though, for FC Cincinnati? Kind of talk about what that means for Cincy.
So splashing $13 million on a relatively unproven 21-year-old player. If you look at his overall stats, it looks like in about 33 games, he has 17 goals. Let's not, if I'm reading this, transfer market is a tough.
It's a tough cookie for sure.
Okay. So I think So in 33 games overall in 2021, he had 17 goals, 3 assists, 5 yellow cards in a decent amount of minutes. So it's a decent player. Is he worth $13 million? I don't know. His market value at the time was, according to transfer market, was about 1.43. His value now is around 9.9. I mean, that's what happens when you're bought for a crazy fee. What does it exactly mean for FC Cincinnati? It's a very good question. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at their signings. I don't believe they brought back Jurgen Locadia. I believe he was a loan, and I don't believe they extended it. I know they were getting rid of
well, right?
he was doing okay. I think his price tag was going to be a little high. I believe he was on loan from Brighton, and I don't think the FC Cincinnati was willing to pay whatever because his production really wasn't there.
Right.
But for a kid who seems relatively unknown, I mean, 21 years old,
Right.
Was took time between Sao Paulo and Fluminense.
Two solid teams in Brazil.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Now, what does it exactly mean for Cincinnati in terms of their style?
Yeah.
Jaap Stam is a very, very defensive coach. He at some points last season he basically did like a 5-4-1 or a 3-5-2 that morphed into a 5-4-1 because I don't know he was widely known as a defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
And a player like this, I don't know how it's going to work. And if the other rumor that I heard was true, which is Pity Martinez potentially to FC Cincinnati. Now, the reason that one might have a little bit of legs is because, from according to some sources, he hasn't been paid from his Saudi club in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's disputed this, and he said that he's happy where he is. But of course, players are going to kind of, most players try to keep things relatively calm and peaceful until they know if something's done. The reason why I also think this move has a little bit of stuff is because they, there was an interview with Jared Namcap, the sporting director, technical director. I'm not sure what his official title is, and he did try to downplay the Pity Martinez rumor, but did say that FC Cincinnati was looking at trading up in the allocation order. And normally you really only do that unless you're trying to get a player incoming. So it might lead me to believe that Pity Martinez might be coming, but then I'll again say, where's an offensive player like that fit into a super defensive system? I'll look at him with Frank de Boer. Didn't exactly work out. So I'm very curious as to how that might work. But I also want to know who are actually Cincinnati's owners and where did they get that kind of money? Because
seriously,
it didn't seem like they were flush with cash, and they dropped $13 million on a young Brazilian kid. So
whoever is the owner of FC Cincinnati, I think the Bengals fans and the Reds fans like a word with that guy because they both those fan bases of those teams have not spent money. FC Cincinnati is acting like big ballers out here with the money that they're dishing around. And you just mentioned PT. I heard they were looking at Nacho Piatti return possibly as well.
Oof.
That would be an interesting one. Didn't he literally just leave like last year?
I think I think what they are looking for is that holding guy or someone who can just create. And obviously they got Burner there who's good just that goal scorer. But I think that's why they were looking at Pity Martinez to be kind of like that holding guy. And I guess Piatti, can play that, but obviously we know Piatti in his injury history, which I don't think that would be a smart move for Cincinnati. But it's just clear like that's what they're looking for as far as these signings goes. But just really interesting what it is they are doing. This is great. We don't mess around is what the Bailey chants after each Cincy goal. Great choice for a header.
Since he has a good amount of money, just haven't used it since the USL days. That's very clear. They were saving up those cash reserves because 13 million is a big number to drop. That's LAFC. That's LAFC and Atlanta level spending.
Right.
Even when you look at last year, though, when they got Locadia on loan from Brighton, like they're spending money. Like, and while it's just a loan move, like you still, you have to pay that salary. You have to get over. We don't know, especially in MLS, we don't know a lot of the details behind what that loan deal looked like. They could have splashed a lot of cash there. Not all of those details always come out, so it's crazy. And I was just trying to look up all of the other clubs that had interest in him, which is why my computer tried to play music.
That's why I was like, I'm like,
my bad about that. But I believe, like, clubs like Ajax, Arsenal, even like Real Madrid, and some of these bigger European clubs wanted to sign this kid, and he decided to come to Cincinnati, which is interesting in and of itself. Maybe he sees development league, and it might be the best for him to be able to come in, play right away, type of thing. We'll have to see. Justin pointed out well, Cincinnati doesn't usually play great attacking football. Like they don't look good that way. They always seem to park the bus. So maybe they're looking to use this kid as a striker for their counterattacks. And who knows?
The Route One soccer straight. Just launch that ball. Harris Medunian doesn't need to run. Just launch that ball up and pray the kid runs onto it.
Yeah, I mean. That's true. Maybe that's what they're looking to do. And if they get Pity Martinez behind them to kind of set up those attacks, if you have those two kind of on an island, I don't know if it works very well. But it is what it is, and they're looking to splash that cash, and that's the model they're taking. So
I think that you brought up a really good point, Tim. For a lot of these youngsters in South America, I think the MLS is a great place for you to come. You get that playing time. That's really key. Like it was interesting hearing Jack Harrison and his story coming through, college and the MLS ranks. And now he's playing in Leeds in Premier League now. And like it's crazy, like they aren't always guaranteed playing time when in their respective countries. And here, you get those opportunities to play, and that's why I like the direction that the MLS is going, like giving these youngsters a chance, not only in our areas. Like obviously the Philadelphia Union, their bread and butter right now is building these kids up in this Philadelphia area, but giving those kids a chance over in South America. Those kids are hungry. Obviously, those kids are very talented. Getting sold to a big club and a big league is cool. Like if you're from Brazil, getting sold to Barcelona, like that's fantastic. But your playing time is not always guaranteed, and sometimes for your development, it's important for you to get those minutes. So I think for Brenner, this is a great opportunity for him. He's going to be adored in Cincinnati. Like let's face it, like they're going to absolutely love that kid. And he's probably going to get more love than he did in his own hometown of Sao Paulo, because in Sao Paulo they develop kids like it's nothing. It's crazy. It's like I don't even know how to explain it, man. It's crazy.
It's a factory.
It's a fact. I can't even think of, and there's nothing like it in America. That's why I can't think of it. But it's literally a factory of just young talent that they produce in Brazil. So interesting stuff by Cincinnati. The next news and note I wanted to talk about, this is for Union Hulk. So we're calling out Union Hulk, guys. If you're listening on Twitter, go get Union Hulk out, because this is for Union Hulk and Union Hulk only. So Union Hulk, we have a latest rumor here. This is just a rumor. No, this is nothing set in stone. But apparently, one Alexandre Pato, if you remember him, if you were a Serie A person, you remember him in his days with AC Milan, some great times. Another Sao Paulo player. Guy, I don't know if he's still in Sao Paulo, but he was definitely.
No, since he left, he's been a free agent.
But apparently, Orlando City is ready to make an offer to Pato to come play in Orlando City. And I know it was probably somewhere like, Sugarman, just give him the money, give me Pato.
No, I would stay far away from Pato, because outside of his AC Milan days, he's a gigantic flop. I mean, everywhere he's been.
You know who gave this? You know who put this out, Justin? You know who put the story out? Tommy Bogarts.
Yeah. If the chief and mustache himself put that out, Tommy Bogues is a
he's great,
pretty reliable source.
He's the MLS Woj.
Yeah, I don't really get the this thing for Orlando. Like I know Daryl DK is on a short-term loan, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I guess they want competition for
They
DK
want
when he
all
comes
the
back.
best, like Portuguese and Brazilian stars to come to Orlando.
It's that Kaká connection.
Yeah, seriously. And now you got Nani, and then they're gonna go for Pato. Yeah. Next is Neymar.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Dude, he would fit in perfectly in Orlando once he's like at that age, right? Obviously, because he's got an extension too with PSG. But no, so that I wanted to throw that in there because obviously it's an interesting story, and of course, we love Union Hockey. We definitely want to give Union Hockey some light here on DOOP by the River. He's definitely an endorser of DOOP by the River, so we love you, Union Hockey. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But guys, that's another episode of DOOP by the River. Justin, Tim, last words for our listeners here today.
Go ahead, Justin.
I just want to say to everyone, still continue to stay safe. The vaccination process is slow, but it's happening. Myself, I will be getting my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine on Friday. So I'm pretty excited about that. I will be picking up my customized Union kit on Friday. I did get it. I did initially get it without customization, and then when I was there, I just had to get customized, and it took a little longer than expected, so I would pick it up on Friday. Other than that, everyone just continue to stay safe, continue to, socially distance, to stay at home if you can, and just, like I said, we're gonna get through this, and I'll repeat the same point. I said last week. If you're going through anything, and I'm someone who can absolutely relate to dealing with bouts of anxiety and depression, please don't hesitate to reach out. Mental health is no joke, and it's something that we all all of us struggle with. Some of us better than others, and not all of us have outlets to talk to or ways to get through it. But if anyone needs to talk, my Twitter DMs are always open, and I'll gladly talk it out, because mental health is no joke, guys.
100%, man. Appreciate that. What do you got, Tim?
Yeah, no, thanks, Justin, for saying that. And one thing too that helps with mental health things is when we can find some distractions, which is why we love to talk about soccer and to analyze the game that we all love. And I know it helps me out a lot that way. And along those lines, there's one thing we didn't talk about on the podcast, so I don't want to open it back up. We don't have to, but tomorrow night at 7 is the Champions League draw, where we will learn who the Philadelphia Union will play.
What time is this draw?
I believe it's at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Perfect. Awesome. So,
that's my last news and note is don't forget about that draw tomorrow. We are find out who the Union are playing. I believe the pots are already out, so we can see the group that the Union are sort of in, so we can see the other group who we might be drawn against. So that'll be, super important there. It's kind of been quiet. I haven't seen the Union been talking about it too much, and they've been maybe retweeting an article or two about them being in the Champions League here. But the draw is tomorrow, so we're gonna get into the nitty gritty here. These games are coming up.
I do think that the CBA stuff kind of like stumped that for a lot of us fans, but honestly, Tim, I don't even know how to handle this. Like, as a Union fan, like, I've never been in this situation. Like, I don't even know how to feel, let alone wait for a pot draw here. But it looks like we're in pot 1 with Forge FC or Toronto FC, Monterrey, Club America, Cruz Azul, Atlanta United, Columbus, us, and the Portland Timbers. So it's definitely okay. So was it 2 groups that they do then?
Yeah. So it's pot 1. You basically pot 1 say the Union, and then say pot 2 whoever.
Yeah.
So basically just bang bang, and that's who you get pitted against.
Yep. Yeah. So we can't play anyone that's in the same pot as us right off the bat, which is good because you named some pretty good teams. In the pot. So
I just say Club America and Monterrey. That's one I'm like,
yeah.
We dodged the ball at least first round. if we can get past this round.
So when is the ideal start? Do they announce the start time for the CONCACAF Champions League?
Isn't it like mid-April?
Mid-April.
Oh, God damn.
So yeah, it'll go, I believe, April to June, which is pretty much what a lot of other things are doing too. Like, Open Cup is going to be May and June, I believe, as well. So we'll have to see how this all plays out here.
I mean, yeah, I think it's too soon, but I already had in my mind like a Central America trip to watch the Union. I would 100% do that, but of course, guys, we got to play it safe here, guys.
DOOP by the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I remember watching the Cooligans going with NYCFC to watch them play Saprissa, and I'm like, that looks like so much fun. I would so travel for the Union for a little CONCACAF, especially Central America. Hell yeah, 110%. So
hit Adam Can up. I'm sure we can. Our way into a couple seats on the charter.
Well, I mean, me personally, like I just want to get to understand the culture of those clubs, because obviously, like Central American culture is definitely different than North America. So I would love to just pick their mind and see what it's like. But of course, guys, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe, of course, we all know that the Union are going to make it again next year, and I'm calling it right now. So we're going to be enjoying CONCACAF Champions League more than this year. I truly believe it. But also, thank you so much for that, Tim. Thank you so much for reminding us, because I definitely will be keeping an eye out for that. That's definitely huge stuff here for sure. And definitely stay tuned to my Philly Sports Soy. We'll talk about that as well. But thank you so much, Justin, for those words as well. Make sure, guys, do not look away from any of your mental health issues, guys. It's serious stuff. And like Justin said, we are all open here. Definitely reach out to any of us. We are open people for sure. And thank you, Tim, for letting us know about the CONCACAF Champions League, guys. Guys, thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure to subscribe on PSN Radio, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's all up on there. And all the Philly sports podcasts are on there as well. So make sure you check those out. Again, we've been pretty consistent here. Every Tuesday night, 7:30, my YouTube channel, and on the DOOP by the River podcast Twitter account. We are on live. It was a lot of fun again today. Thank you for sending out all those questions. And we'll see you guys again next week. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Baldino, and that is Tim Lumenguth. I'm at Parcero Philly, and we're telling you guys to DOOP on. We'll talk to you guys very soon. Go Union!